is Lizzie Ford, and I'm a freshman at Ball State University. I was diagnosed at about a year old with cerebral palsy. I'm spastic diplegia, so spastic quadriplegia. I don't know why I said diplegia, but I'm a quad. Basically, it affected me all four limbs, so there's different challenges that I deal with when it comes to that kind of thing. And I also have some vision problems that come with that too, with the brain damage. I have some vision and some eye spasms, but with all those challenges, I feel like it's important to just try and strive to live as normal life as possible, to be involved in what other people are involved in, because people are social creatures. That's what they need. They need to be around other people, and so inclusion is extremely important. I'm really active in Alliance for Disability Awareness here at Ball State, which recognizes disabilities and inclusion. And I helped put on the Tunnel of Oppression for housing here at Ball State, which is just about different stereotypes that different groups of people have, and I ran the ability booth, so I dealt with disability and those kind of stereotypes. I would definitely say that one of my strengths is probably just my cognitive ability. I feel weird. I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I'm pretty intelligent, and I'm used to having to plan out things with my disability. It's not something that came super natural to me, but I learned over time just to come prepared. People say I'm the most prepared person they've ever met, but it just helps to be able to get the stuff done that everybody else gets done, and with that disability, just to kind of counteract it in a way. And then also just I have a very outgoing personality, and I'm very articulate. I like being around people. I like talking to people. That's why I mentioned before that people are just social creatures. They need to be around people. I like it, and I thrive when I'm around other people, helping out. So I like getting involved on campus. And it's for as far as my physical abilities are and go I have things I can do. I can walk. I have a walker, so I have limited mobility, but I still have some when I'm not in my power chair. I can sit up, although it's hard. Really, I can do a decent amount of things, but it's a lot of work for me. It's kind of with the muscle tone, my muscles kind of work against that. I learned how to put my contacts in, but it took me 6 months because I had to figure out how to do it basically one-handed. So it was a task. But yeah, it's one of those things, and I feel the best way that people can help other people is to help them figure out as many ways as possible to get around disabilities, because just because someone can't do things the traditional way doesn't mean they're not achievable. I have attendant care, so I just planning out almost hour by hour, because I'm used to having to plan down right till I go to the bathroom. That other stuff isn't usually very hard for me to plan when I think about having to plan my restroom breaks. So one of the big things on college campuses right now is sexual assault. So for the average woman, it is 1 in 5. What a lot of people, which is really bad to begin with, what a lot of people don't know though, is for a woman with disability, it's 1 in 2. For me, it's who's it gonna be, me or the person next to me? That realization is scary. To be safe, I just use I use the buddy system. I don't usually do it when it's dark outside. I do it based on a time. If it's 10 o'clock at night, I don't walk out around campus by myself. I will go around campus, but I always make sure I have at least 1 or 2 other people with me. Strength in numbers is always good. When you look at people who commit those crimes, they're going to look for the people they think are most vulnerable and easiest to control. That's the psychopathology there. And so It's a big thing that people are not aware of that they need to be made aware of. The theme is love where you live. So you want to feel safe to love where you live. One of the reasons I love Ball State is because there's so many opportunities for people with disabilities. And that's where there needs to be some everywhere. People with disabilities need to feel like they have equal access both physically and socially with those barriers gone. And there's the obvious physical barriers that a lot of people think of, and then there's the more social barriers that some people don't think of. And then, okay, so the physical barriers, we need more ramps, we need more curb cuts, we need doors that are easy to open. Like here at Ball State, they have push buttons on every door, and they also have prox cards where I can literally put my card up to it, like my ID card up to a scanner, and it'll open the door for me automatically, which is really amazing. Those kinds of things, making sure there are elevators, because you'd be surprised how hard it is to find an elevator. As far as the social barriers go, even when people don't mean to, they can subtly discriminate and stereotype. And it's just, they have to be careful. People with disabilities want to be involved in the same things as other people. They have the same interests as other people. People have this misconception that, the disability is who they are, and it's the farthest thing from the truth. If you sat down and had a conversation, 9 out of 10 people with a disability you talk to would not talk about their disability unless you specifically ask, because it's not a thing that they care about too much. And that's why in psychology and other related scholarly fields, they've started to use mostly person-first language. So instead of disabled people, people with disabilities, because their disability does not come first. They come first. No one is defined by their disability, because there are so many people with the same disability who are of a different race, a different family background, a different gender, a different sexual orientation. You cannot lump them in together, because yeah, they are part of this disability community, but they're also part of so many others, and that's how it is for everybody. So for anybody who's watching this, the most important thing to take out of this is the importance of awareness and just being aware. And a lot of people do not say things that may be taken offensively towards people with disabilities out of spite, out of being vindictive. A lot of it's out of ignorance. So if you see that happening, the best thing to do is just to, try to explain to the person that that's not the right thing to say and why. No one is perfect at it. I'm not even perfect at it. I've offended people. So, but it's just for things that you think are obviously bad, just educate. Education is the most important thing. And remember, love where you live.